It was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be
forward.
like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
My name is Lerato Nkuta. I come from the township called Kagiso, which is based in the west of Johannesburg. By profession, I'm a chef. And then from there, I used to work for NGOs. But most importantly, I'm part of the concerned citizen of Kagiso.
My name is Mo. My real name is Oscar Makwati. I'm also from Kagiso, Extension 11. I'm a rapper by profession. Yeah, I love doing music, and that's what I've been doing my whole life, actually. Yeah, and I'm a dropout.
My name is Sami. I am also too from Kagiso. I am 21 years old and I'm a youth.
My name is Bitumelo Mudisani from Western Youth Development. I am the project coordinator there. What Western Youth Development does is we are a youth organization that caters for youth from the ages of 18 to 35.
I had almost like 13 friends because I used to play soccer at school. Almost actually, I would say 10 to 12 of them, they are dropouts. They left school at the age of 16, some of them age. It was a concern for them. So all the time I would ask myself, what was the problem? Because my peers left school. I was the one who went the journey. And through my experiences, I didn't even get that opportunity to go to tertiary after matric. So I had to find work. I had to be part of NGOs, like for instance, volunteering. So I'll take it as a gap year. So the whole experience for me, I'd say it's a concern because I would ask myself, why other youth, they can't fight? Is it, again, the question, is it the background where you come from? Again, maybe sometimes the resources are not there. But as an individual, you have that willpower and that mindset to push yourself.
I'm gonna talk from what I experienced, because when I was dropping out of school, I was young, ne? And it was merely because it's a decision I took with friends actually. We took that decision when we failed. We were doing grade 11, and we failed. Both of us failed, and when we were thinking about going back, we said, nah, we're not going back. We're gonna find like a college and then go study there further. But my thing was, they can afford that. But with my thing, I cannot afford to go to college. So it's mainly because of like not affording. And sometimes it's information. There's not a lot of information on resources, on how to like reach out to someone, or trying to make things right. Lack of information and not affording. Yeah.
So I don't think it's the resources that make youth to drop out of school. Sometimes it's just the motivation, low self-esteem, such and such, as people and yet still drop out of school. I know a few friends of mine who had everything and yet did not finish school. So I don't think it's resources. I think it's lack of motivation at times. Yabo. I don't feel they're gonna achieve their dreams in time, or pressure is too much for them. Yabo.
Resources can be an advantage of people dropping out of schools or the lack of education. But I think the other main priority that is not focused on is having to, there is no intervention from our schools. Back in the day when we were at school, there was intervention in the means of when you are at school, teachers would be able to recognize, would be able to see if a person is supposed to be using their hands in the form of education, or are these people academic? Because as people, we're different. So even if we can be in the same age group, in the same grade, our level of education is different, our level of understanding is different. So interventions from our schools can also help, because I think it demoralizes other kids or other peers at school when you have your A students and then you don't even fall under the category of the A and B, C categories in school. So I think that is one of the things that demoralizes kids and other peers to drop out of school, because there is no focus, there's nothing that is put in order to see if they can be assisted or not.
And Mo, can you please tell us something? Is it like, for instance, you said to us you can't find, like you didn't have access to resources. Your other friend was able to
Yeah.
go to school but had money. But who were for you finding out that you didn't have resources? How did you push to be where you are?
To be honest with you, I've been only focusing on one thing since then, and that's music. That's the only thing that's being able to keep me sane. And yeah, that's I shifted my focus to that. Uguti, fine, I'm a dropout, but I shouldn't be like other kids who tend to think when you are a dropout, nothing is gonna work out, and then they end up doing isn't right. You know, it's because when you believe in something and you believe that one day it's gonna work for you, you stick to it, right? Like you stick to it with everything you have. That's the situation with me. And with doing so, I was kind of like closing myself to other opportunities. Like I could have like took that time to study something further other than music, or maybe do music. And I really want to study music, ne? But I can't afford to go uya epostini to do that. And that's the resources ezingekho like us to study music. Like, okay, sharp, you don't have to be a dropout. Like, even if you have matric, what if you want to go study music? What then?
Employment is scarce right now, even because now it's worse because of COVID-19. It's hectic. So now people end up resorting to other things like crime. They resort to drugs in order to just to keep themselves sane, where else it does not change the circumstances that we are in right now. So we're facing a lot of dropouts. There is teenage pregnancy that we're facing that causes dropout. There is substance abuse that is happening that is causing dropout. And also there is household challenges that causes dropout.
Resources will always be there. I think end of the day, it's up to us to decide whether or not we want this. Alcohol and substance abuse has always been there. Only way we can implement change is to motivate each other to a better future. End of the day, the choices we take is on our own. No one can distinguish that for you. It does not matter which background you could come from or what kind of family you have. End of the day, it's up to you as a person, as an individual, which you.
I think the government is trying to avail facilities. If you look at Kagiso right now, there is a library for Extension 12. There is a library just right after at Lusham, just right after. I think there's a street that is separating Lushama and Soul City. There's a temporary structure that is a library there. So again, when we look at the resources that we have, when we are fighting, when there is a riot, when communities are unhappy, they go to the very structures that are supposed to be assisting us. They the very structures that get burnt, they are broken into. Those are the structures that we also go back and destroy. And then after destroying them again, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for government to come through for us. Where else, as the youth of today, we must be thinking out of the box. Thinking out of the box meaning we need to now think of coming up with new ideas, being entrepreneurs, making things happen for ourselves instead of waiting for the government to be assisting us and giving us everything. Because once we depend on government to give us everything that we want, then it's going to be a challenge, because now the government is going to suffer with now every time the number of assisting people is increasing instead of decreasing, or else there are resources that are out there to make people make something of themselves. Entrepreneurship is always preached. People are not looking into entrepreneurship, and not looking into entrepreneurship is a challenge, because if you look into entrepreneurship, that means you are looking at bettering yourself and creating an economic opportunity for other people that are unemployed, because the unemployment rate is high. Right now, because of the COVID-19, it has escalated, because people have lost their jobs, people have been retrenched, and there are a lot of issues that has happened, which causes go back to now people drinking too much because they're trying to get the stress away from them. People using drugs, young girls now resorting to having sugar daddies, because now they're trying to make a living for themselves. So it's a big challenge if we are going to be the youth and we are expected to be the president of tomorrow, we are expected to be ministers of tomorrow, and we are still dependent on the government to make things work for us.
As the youth has we can do it on our own. Actually, we have everything we need, like in the townships. We have youth that are talented a lot. So I think the government can do better on like sponsoring the youth a lot more, so that they can do this, because we can actually do things for ourselves now. That's what I think.
My dream is to see a better youth with goals and visions. I want to see a youth that will fight for their tomorrow and for their future. I want to see a place where everybody is motivated.
My name is Mo, aka Bad Boy Mo, and my dream is to be the next biggest hip hop star in this country. And with doing so, I would like to give back to my community and also share those resources with the community.
My dream is to become a political lawyer, so I can help bring about change in my community and the country, so I can contribute to the growth of the youth and everything that concerns it.
My dream is to see a Kagiso having motivated youth, having youth that is taking charge, youth that is not dependent on other structures but looking into doing things on themselves, being open-minded, using the social media platforms for the positive things instead of the negative things, and going out there and making a change.
Yeah, Z, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.